Okay, so I just saw Obsession. That was the scariest movie I have ever seen in theaters in my life. Altogether, it might be one of the scariest I've seen in my life, hands down. Let's talk about it. Hands down, Obsession is one of the scariest movies of 2026, if not horror movies of all time. It definitely landed its mark. Indy Navarrete has given one of the best horror performances of all time. Of all time. Directed by Curry Barker, a known YouTuber. Like, I loved his skits back in the day. He's now a horror movie director. Obsession is a movie I really didn't know anything about. I went to the movies, said, let me go see it 11 o'clock in the morning. And just to start off, this is going to be a non-spoiler review for the first like couple 10 minutes, however. But after that, I'm going to go with like a full kind of breakdown of it. But just to start off, where I'm a horrorologist. And just horror movie wise, we got Sinners last year, we got Weapons as well. And it's just all these movies, horror movies is really back in this um YouTubers talk to me and bring her back like by Rocka Rocka is just insane. And Curry Barker has landed his mark, man. Like, bruh, what a movie. Just get right into it. After breaking the mysterious One Wish Willow to win his crush's heart, a hopeless romantic finds himself exactly what he asked for, but soon discovers that some desires come to a dark, sinister price. And that main character is Bear and his crush being Nikki. All right, and they're in a friend group with two others, Sarah and Ian. Okay, and that's just the roundabout thing in the movie is that Bear breaks the One Wish Willow. Things happen. Things happen. All right, but just my thoughts on the movie. Honestly, performances again. Nikki, editor Jalen, for the time I say Nikki Navarrete, I apologize. Is Indy Navarrete? She's a very, very good actor. Apologize for calling her Nikki. Back to the video. Navarrete has given one of the best performances in horror of all time. Like, definitely in the 2020s now, like up there. Like, I don't know. I think she's from like 13 Reasons Why, I believe. But bruh, like, she gave everything in this performance to not only just scary Nikki, but real Nikki. She had to play two characters, and it was just, bruh, she literally had me shaking in my seat certain times in this movie. And it's because of the performance. Also, the cinematography plays a huge part, as well as the music. Like, this this is a 5 out of 5 star film. Like, first of all, period. Like, honestly, like, there's not a lot of, from my end, not a lot of things that I have a problem with. But overall, I personally think it's a 95 to 100 rated film. Like, it's really good. Performances, Michael Johnson, like, he gives it his all. Even from the actors that play Sarah and Ian, like, it's a very small condensed story as well, which I love those type of movies. And just this story as well is just so far that love can really go, and as well as so many undertones as uh assault, just toxic masculinity, and as well as just having a toxic ex or a toxic lover in general. Just the whole movie is just so many layers and layers and layers and layers of just a condensed story of these two characters, really, but also how that love, toxic love, can affect the ones around you. It's just a very insane movie. I love it. Again, no, scary as fuck. Like, there's scenes in this that like actually had me like, how the fuck did they just do that, or how did she just do that? There's scenes in this movie where Nikki Navarrete moves a certain way, and you're like, that's not CGI. Like, she did that, and it's so scary, bro. Like, it's so insane. No spoilers, no spoilers, no spoilers at all. I'll get to the spoiler section, but like, it's literally so insane. Like, it's a scene in this movie, like the first, I think it's like the first 30 minutes or the first, yeah, like, off rip, like after he makes the wish, like you know something is up, and then that's when the movie just. Psh. But it's a little bit of a rom com as well, and that's something I enjoy. I'm a rom com type of guy. I love rom coms personally, so having that little uh rom com feel of it too was crazy to feel in a horror movie. But then it made those horror scenes so much more horrible. So if you're thinking about going watching this movie, please go do support Curry Barker. He's a YouTuber. Originally a YouTuber, now he's a director. And just Nikki Navarrete gives one of the best performances of the year. No way she's not walking away with an award at the end of the year. And just Obsession is literally a 10 out of 10 movie, guys. And oh yeah, lastly, well, I already said this single time. If you like the lighting in these scenes, just certain ways, like she's dark, and you literally cannot see her or like see half of her, and it's just her talking, and it will be for so long, but it's so scary, and I don't want to talk about it, but it's just like just the way they use the lighting and the cinematography with as well as the music and just Nikki is just insane. So to end the non-spoilers review, Indy Navarrete just literally gave one of the best performances in horror. Overall movie, I think is just really great. It's no side stories either. It's just one story, and you just follow them, which I really love. The whole story is through Bear's eyes. I don't think we ever leave Bear at all, and I love those type of movies. It's just, bro, go see this movie. Literally, go see this movie. All right, so now this is like the spoiler section. Like, if you, bro, this is probably the only time I would tell you guys this. Do not watch this if you haven't watched the movie. Like, go see this in theaters before you watch the spoiler section. All right, but let's just get right into it because I'm super excited to talk about it. So, first of all, I did get into the theater a little late. I got into the scene where they were first getting into the restaurant or whatever. I did not know what was going on, but like I caught on. Okay. Okay. Basically, what happens is, uh, Bear is in love with Nikki, right? And he has a huge crush on Nikki, and they're in this work friend group. So Ian and all of them is like, "Yo, we're about to go out tonight. We're about to have this good time, right?" Bear's like, "All right, bet." But then Bear cat dies because the cat eats his passed away's grandmother's pills, I believe. So then, right, Bear's like, no, I don't want to go. But he gets a call from Nikki. Nikki says, I'm leaving the job. I put my 2 weeks in. After that, like, you're not going to see me like that. So Bear's like, oh my God, this is my last chance to see Nikki. So I have to go. So he then goes. Totally forgot. Before all of that, right? Before all of that, basically, Bear, for the dinner, Bear gets a present for Nikki because I guess she's leaving, and he then buys the One Wish Willow. They all go wild. They have a really good time. You get a sense of the feel of all the characters, but you really get the sense of like Bear really likes Nikki, but Nikki basically has friend zoned Bear, and he just kind of doesn't notice. But fast forward, Nikki needs a ride home. Bear takes her. Bear takes Nikki to drop off, and basically Nikki gets a feel of Bear trying to flirt or talk or whatever, and just straight up Nikki's like, Bear, do you like me? And Bear says no. Basically after that, Nikki's like, okay. Nikki walks up into her house, and Bear gets really upset, takes out the One Wish Willow, and wishes that Nikki will love Bear more than anyone in the world. And bruh, this scene this scene was insane. Like just the change of her standing on top of the stairs, bruh, and like the head tilt, and just in the dark, I was just like, like what just happened? Like literally, and it was just off rip. It was just a change of scenery. Like it was just like, oh my God. And she basically run down to the car and just like she lies to Bear about something like, oh, my cat died. Like basically like tries to get Bear to come in. Then Bear's just like, no, like come home. And basically she basically lies to Bear to get home with her. So Bears basically takes her home, yada yada yada. They get home, they start making out, and while they're making out, right, real Nikki snaps back in. Like real Nikki starts screaming, spazzing out, like yada yada yada. But then I'm gonna call her Wish Nikki. Wish Nikki snaps back in, and Wish Nikki snaps back in. It was like, I'm sorry, like I'm just basically having aneurysms or brain problems, yada 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 yada. So Bear basically just plays it off, doesn't really think anything of the Wish as right now. Bro, one of my favorite scenes in a whole movie is that the next morning when they go to work together, like Bear's basically talking to Ian and basically giving him the rundown of like the past 15-20 minutes of the movie. And in the background, Nikki or Rich Nikki is just standing there menacingly, like the whole, like however long the scene was, she just standing there in the back, like like grayed out, just staring at a bear. And literally, I'm in the back of the theater, just like, ooh, ooh, like it's like when is that type of scare? Like it's really like it's not a lot of jump scares, which I love, and the jump scares are fucking scary as fuck. Like the two called me, but like it's also just scary, like in different aspects of how they do things with lighting, cinematography, and just the character of Nikki being possessed or the wish or whatever you want to call it. Ultimately, I think she's possessed, as you should say. You had, there's no other way to say it. But basically, that's like the intro of the movie. Is like real life Nikki. Like we don't know if she liked him or not. He snapped it, but now this is Wish Nikki, and now Wish Nikki is completely in love with Bear. But it also shows us that this isn't the real Nikki. Like when she snaps and starts, like that's the real Nikki that's screaming like what's going on, and then like snaps back. But then this is the story, and that's like the rundown for the movie. So then we get the rom com montage, and I love this. Like I'm a huge rom com guy, so just this little, I think it was like 5 to 10 minutes. I love just them just doing this special stuff. But at the same time, like thinking back, like this is not Nikki. Like this is not Nikki, and just the performances by both of the actors is great. Like Indy Navarrete and Michael Johnston is just like they just really play off. Like at first, like you really think like, oh, this might go okay for now. Like you at first you get a sense, oh, it might not be that bad. But then it gets bad. It gets really bad. It gets really bad. The sleep scene, the first sleep scene, just the direction Curry Barker takes in this scene, bro. Like you see, so basically Bear wakes up and Bear's just like, Nikki, where are you? It's in the middle of the night, and just he's like, Bear, where are you? Right? And like just Nikki's just in the back whole time. We're seeing it from his eyes, so we think, oh, like where is she? I'm thinking she's in the room. I was dead ass thinking like she's on the roof. And she just like steps out, and I'm like, but the way this whole scene she's moving, like Indy Navarrete, I don't know how she did this. Like the moving backwards, like I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but it's like these playmation things like that. Be like, I'll put like a clip in, but literally for a split second, she was moving backwards. She looked exactly like that, and it was this one. The scare. I literally had to like close my eyes during the scene. Like, it was actually so fucking scary, bro. Like it was actually so scary. And I think at the end, just she like brings him a present or something like that, and then like that's the night. But then the next morning, basically, Bear has to go to work. Nikki's off work. Nikki has still been acting crazy. Just little things in the mood that I haven't talked about. She's been screaming in certain ways, like just erratically. Like, and mind you, real Nikki at certain points still snaps back in at certain moments. Not crazy, but and the sleeping is very important. I also have a theory about that. In that scene, to go back to it, basically Bear's just like, Nikki, like, come back to sleep, please, like you're freaking me out. And Nikki's screaming like, no, like I like to watch you sleep, like no, right? And Wish Nikki is like, no, I don't like to sleep. I like to watch you sleep. Yada yada yada. It scares the living crap out of him and thousands that's watched this movie, and she goes to sleep. Right. All right. So yeah. So basically, the friends have basically Ian and Sarah has been in his ear about it. I forget what seems comes first, the restaurant or the. I think the restaurant comes way first. Yeah. So I'm gonna talk about the restaurant first. So basically, they go on a date to the restaurant, and essentially, like they're talking, they're having a good time, and Ian calls Bear, and Bear's like, "Yo," and Bear then confronts Nikki about it, and Bear goes to Nikki, asks her about it, and she just stands up and just lashes out, like doesn't lash out, but like stands there and like screams, like and just, bro. As a dude too, like if this is my girl, bro, I will be literally like shitting bricks, and like he is like, I don't care, like like, and that's the thing, he really does not care. And Bear's like, it's cool, like I don't care, like I love you, like we're talking to each other, yada yada. And she gets him a gift. I forget what the gift was, but it was like something that meant a lot to real life Nikki. And it was just crazy that like wish Nikki would do that, would give him that out of everything. There's a scene later ahead where basically Nikki wish Nikki is asleep, and Bear is just like standing there or whatever, and like you hear like Nikki like basically sleep talking, and she's like, Bear, this is not me, like kill me, Bear, like. And Bear is like, oh, is it that bad to be with me? That. And Nikki's like, I've never been with you, Bear. And like that scene alone like genuinely broke my heart, because one, like Nikki's literally being held captive, and this is assault, just clearly assault. Like he's doing this out of his own gain now. He's not doing this, he knows full well what's going on now, and he does not care. And instead of genuinely thinking like, oh my gosh, like I'm really holding Nikki captive, or he's thinking of toxic masculinity, like is that bad to be with me that you want to kill yourself? Like not genuinely thinking like, bro, you forcing her to do this. And just it was so heartbreaking to hear Nikki literally begging to kill him, and he's like, no, like F you, like basically I want to be with Wish Nikki. And it was like insane. And that just goes back to like, if Bear was just honest, maybe he would have had a chance. Because like it was pretty obvious that Nikki did friend zone Bear, but at the same time, when she asked him, at that point, if he would have been honest, I truly feel like Nikki would have gave him a chance. And that's the thing, is that if as long as he was just honest, it would could have been a whole different situation. But he crashed out and led to all this. All right, so basically, Bear goes to work. He talks to Sarah. We haven't seen Sarah literally in a while, and basically, Sarah and Ian has been like in Bear's ear, like this is weird. Like everyone's been saying, like she's having she's having mental problems, and it's just like basically from the outside, Bear is taking advantage of her, and from our perspective, Bear is taking advantage of her, which is crazy. Like outside, like like curry burger. Oh my god, but but then just there's a note in Bear's lunch that Nikki made for him. Bear takes a bite of it, and Sarah reads it, and it says like something about the cat, and basically Nikki cooked the cat, and Bear ate the cat, and Bear throws up, goes home, and is like talks to Nikki like. So then, basically, after Bear Easter Cat driving home from work with Ian. Ian is talking to him about like, it's like, bro, all this shit is going on, like it's crazy, like it's very weird, like are you taking advantage of her, like what's going on? And Bear's like, no, it's not like that, like just calm down, like she is obsessed with me, yada 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 yada. And basically Ian is like, okay, if it's not a toxic relationship, come to the party tonight. It's a guy's night out. If you do that, then everything should be okay, right? I forgot to talk about this. When Bear left for work this morning, Nikki stood in the same spot he left her. Like, she said bye, she smiled and stood there. Bear gets home from work, bruh, and she's standing in pee and her own poop and is just covered in a bunch of other crap. Like, is messed up, bro. Like, been standing there all day basically waiting for Bear to come back. So he's like, bro, you need to go take a shower. Going in the shower, right? He's like, listen, babe, like, Ian is having a guy's night tonight. You kind of just upset at me with the cat earlier and this. Like, I'm about to go with Ian. She goes crazy. So he's like, all right, fine, I'll take you. Because then she ultimately then says, like, Sarah is going. So, and which is true. Like, Sarah, there's also girls there. They were basically just trying to get Bear there alone without Nikki because they know Nikki will act weird. And at the party, Nikki does exactly the fuck that. Oh yeah, so Nikki's just acting really weird, and then like she goes on this like whole monologue, basically about him and Bear having sex with just insane like what do you call it dialogue, and just what she's saying, like the phrases and what she's meaning is just insane, and it goes on for a while. Like, you're just sitting there like, please stop. It's so bad, bro. Like, and they're playing the game. I forget what it is. It's like 7 Up or like a card game or something. It's not 7 Up. I'm tripping. But basically that's why she went into this monologue, and it then gets to Bear, and like on to Bear, it's like kiss the person to your left, and basically she stands up, and I don't know if you've seen the meme, but she does the I wish I could do it, bro. She was like literally the most baby smiley faces, and what everybody just silent. The sound in this thing makes it so much more. You could hear a pin drop, but literally walks around, moves Sarah's chair, and like sits like right next to Bear for him to kisses him, and I forget like what happens after that, but like she lashes out again and screams and basically smacks herself with a bottle, bleeding, whatever, and then leaves the party. They leave the party. He drops her off at her crib, I think, and then basically Bear goes at his place, and like basically in the night she comes back, bro. And this scene of like her stinging outside is like literally what I think about is like Hansel and Gretel and like the witch in the woods, like the seductive, like you can only see like her eye, bruh. It's like so, and I just hopefully I didn't just move my contact, but you could literally just see her eye, bruh, like in the John, and it's literally so like it's so scary. Like, it's hard to explain if you can't see it visually, but like and just be in a moment, and it's just the scariest fucking shit ever, bro. She's basically like seducing Bear, like Bear lets her back in, yada yada. Fast forward, and after that, basically I forget when it's certain happening, but before we get to the end parts for real, like Bear sits in the car and calls the wishing willows like, yo, like, is there a way I can switch this, redeem it? Like, this is crazy. And the dude on the phone is like, um if you die, basically that's the only way to cancel your wish. And at some point he's like, do you want to hear Nikki? Like, do you want to hear the real Nikki? And he's like, what? Like, you got real Nikki? And she's just like screaming in agony. And what, like, the screaming, what it literally reminded me of, I don't know if you guys seen Talk to Me before, but like the scene in Talk to Me with the Yumble and HE double hockey sticks. That's exactly what it reminded me of, bro. And that John, that's what I think ultimately like real Nikki was at whole time, for real, for real. And at that point, it shows that Bear has an out. Like, it's Bear, you know you're doing something horrible. you know that it's not Nikki. Nikki's literally ruining your life at this point. That's the thing. Nikki's not going to hurt Bear. She's just going to hurt herself or hurt everybody else. And that's when we get the second sleep scene, and it was just insane. Like basically Nikki just like real Nikki like laying there just like, Bear, please kill me. Like this is not me. Like wow, wish Nikki is basically sleep, and Bear's just like, is that bad to be with me that you want to die? And Bear's not even like thinking about her. He's just so in his own. He like it's like the real toxic nice guy. Like, are you really a nice guy or are you a nice guy? So then basically he goes out to see Sarah. Basically, like the one side plot I would say is that there's Sarah has a little crush on Bear, and that she's been trying to get into college, and she has one more letter that she wants to open with Bear in a car and basically just talk about like what just happened at the party. Like that's insane. And while they're in the car, Nikki runs up, takes her head, and places a cinder block on the steering wheel. Bang, 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 bang. I gotta put the mic down to demonstrate. But like, does it a lot, like a lot, and she did. Sarah did. Sarah did, my nigga. Sarah did. So Sarah did the Bear like, oh my god, and Nikki like just Indiana rap, bro. And this, like, she's just like, I'm telling you, she gets an award. Just in this scene, she just goes around the Bear and just like, Bear, like, this is your fault. like, this is your fault, Bear. Like, like, we gotta hide the body. Like, you gotta help me, Bear. This is all your fault. And like, basically, they hide the body. And just, bro, another scene that like vividly stuck with me is just her covered in blood and Bear sitting in the chair, like, just like thinking about his life. Is like, bro, what have I done? And Nikki in the back, like covered in blood, like, it's okay, baby, like you can go home. Like just the demonic look of her just standing there, and just like I got basically buried this body. You good? It's insane, bro. Insane. So basically, at this point in the movie, it's very clear as a viewer that Bear is the villain and Nikki is just subject to that, and it's just that Bear is just would do anything to one keep Nikki and to two not die. So basically, he wants to just change the wish instead of dying. So he gets a bunch of other wishing willows. He can't make another wish. He tries, but then he goes to his friend Ian. He tells Ian everything, like this works, like this is what's going on, like I'm telling the truth. This is why Nikki been acting crazy. Ian says, "Okay, give me the wishing willow." He wishes for $1 billion and it works. So at that point, Bear's like, "Bruh, I have to ask." Basically, it comes down to I have to ask Nikki to wish that she loves somebody else, or just contradict his wish in some capacity. I don't think it got that specific. If I did, let me know in the comments. But then he gets home and Sarah's decomp body is just played out in the kitchen by Nikki, and Nikki is literally all dressed up as Sarah now because she just thinks that's what Bear likes, and like has fake tattoos like insane, bro. Like has all this effed up stuff in the house, like is insane. And it's just square, and she's just like scaring the hell out of Bear, like, why don't you love me? Like screaming, like basically going insane crash out. It is basically just like, I forget like what exactly like escalates the situation, but I know Ian comes in like, Bear, like that bear, I have $1 billion, and she straight shoots. Oh, it's because she has a gun. She straight shoots Ian. She straight shoots Ian, kills Ian, and basically straight is like, Bear, like, why don't you love me? Like, you don't love me, Bear. Like, yada 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 yada. And Bear at that point, Bear is literally trying to convince her to do the one with Willow, and she's just like out of it, going crazy. So Bear goes in a bathroom, and at that point, he just comes to the conclusion like, I just gotta myself. So then uh at first he takes the gun. So at first he's gonna use the gun, but I guess he was just too scared to. So he then uses his grandmother's pills, the same one that his cats use, and he just starts eating them. But while that is happening, Wish Nikki on the outside makes a wish. I think she says, I wish Bear would love me and no one else," or something like that. And as like Bear is in the middle of taking the pills, he like makes himself throw up a little bit and like puts a smile on his face and like starts to walk out to Nikki, and like they like both are in love, and, like they're hugging each other, whatever, starts to kiss. And then Bear, after eating the pills, starts to, this is you can't say the word, but starts to, and Wish Nikki starts to cry, lash out, whatever, and it's just then the snaps back to real Nikki, and real Nikki's just holding dead Bear while Ian's on the floor, while Sarah's dead body is also in the corner, and it's just the credits is rolling. It's just real Nikki screaming in agony and horror, and that's is real horror. Like it's not just like a jump scare or something like a demon yada yada. No, it's real horror. Is actually like something that is scary, and this is a girl that has got put through this for however long the movie was. I think it was max a month, the timeline of the movie, but like just the horror that of Nikki like being the victim in this whole situation is so like horrifying, bro. And it's just that it's literally just because this dude was in love or was trying to be Mr. Nice Guy. Just he just crashed out for a second. If he was just honest, maybe he would have had a chance. But instead, he let his feelings get in the best of him in the moment, and it just the movie in general, just the lessons it teaches, bro, is just insane. Or our shows rather, is just insane. Like for honestly for couples, especially now for Gen Z in general, is just like look how far like certain things can get you, and it's just I love this movie, bro. Like it's just insane. Like the performances is the one thing why I love it. Just cinematography is another thing, but just overall, just the story is very self centered, small, and it just ends with like just shows how toxic love could be, especially how affect others. Like Nikki's just sitting there, like now three of her best friends are dead. And it's just whole time it doesn't even know clearly if when I truly think Nikki doesn't when in that moment I truly think Nikki doesn't know anything of what's going on. I think she just snaps back in and just like because the flashes she's got the flashes like when she snaps in and out the movie, but I don't think she's truly understood what's going on. Or when she was just screaming, I think she was in HEW hockey stick, so I think she just probably thought she died or something. But at that, what the sleep scene, I feel like proves it when she says, "Bear, I've never been with you." If she was knowing that she was being at least like taken over, like she would have known that like she would at least her body was taken over and like doing stuff with Bear, but she didn't even know it. She was just like, "Bear, I haven't been with you," or like or was she was just saying that like like Bear, I haven't been with you type time. It could be seen as either way, I guess. But figurative and literally, like both. But it's just, bro, just Indy Navarrete, bro, and Curry Barker, just like this movie is a 5 out of 5 star horror film. And that's my little breakdown of Obsessions. I really loved it. Just a little more things like I just noticed in the movie, I guess. The one thing I didn't know is like very self-centered movie, no side thing. I said no side story. I really like that. Um it was just a movie I couldn't like really predict either. Like I was like, no, like it's like Bear has to himself in some type of capacity, but just the way they did it at the end, I feel like were very, 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 very good. Because that split second, I was just like, oh my gosh, like no way, like it's gonna end like this, and they're both like taking over or something like that, you know. And it's just with movies nowadays, bro, YouTubers, man, like, bruh, it's insane. Like you can't really I don't know, man. Just as a writer myself and somebody that like wants to be a director and screenwriter one day, is just like all it's just showing me that it's just more motivation that I can't do it, you know. So it's just awesome, bro. So if you love movies in any type of capacity, please go see this movie in theaters. With that being said, guys, thank you for watching. Peace.